Oi, oi. All right. Another short episode for you this week. We're just focusing on new music because there's so much of it coming out and there's still so much to come. But this week we're going to be covering King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, PetroDragonic, Apocalypse. I'm not going to do the full title of that. We're also going to cover Drain's Living Proof, Bar Italia's debut album, Tracey, Denim. And we're also going to be covering the Pinegrove live album, Montclair. Let's get it. The Gizzard have been putting albums out for around 11 years now, and yet impressively, PetroDragonic represents their 24th full-length album of original material. Freedom from genre is something the band established relatively early in their career, and this lack of musical guardrails has certainly fueled the pace of their output because it's allowed them to switch styles on a dime and purely just follow what inspires them at any given moment. So when a new record comes to be released, you really never know what you're going to get. It could be yacht rock, improvisational jazz, or in this case, some thrashy metal. PetroDragonic Apocalypse sees the band produce something of a sequel to their last full foray into metal, 2019's Infest the Rat's Nest. While texturally and lyrically, this definitely seems like a sibling to that record, you could also call it a bit of a cousin to last year's Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms and Lava record, because while the riffs are chugging and the drums are double kicking, this crop of tracks somewhat replaces the Motorhead rock and roll arrangements for much longer, more progressive tracks with multiple sections and movements. Despite the longer songs, 3 of which are over 8 minutes, the record manages to feel a lot more focused than Ice Death though, with every crunchy guitar part and segment really earning its place and being propelled by the awesome power of Michael Kavanagh's drumming prowess. My favourite moments though come from the bass playing, with moments as on Converge and Dragon where it introduces a progression under the main riff that just adds so much drama to the piece and tension, and it makes for a really captivating listen. It doesn't quite pack the punch of Rat's Nest for me because it lacks a song like Planet B or Perihelion to really anchor all of the jamming, but this is definitely another slice of King Gizzard at their most vivid, vital and feral. I would say it's an 8 out of 10. Living Proof is California hardcore / crossover band Drain's second full-length record, but it's their debut for Epitaph Records. The album delivers the voltage of the debut, but with a slightly more polished sound overall, where the fast tempos on California Cursed would fluctuate slightly within any given song just based on sheer excitement. The band are fixed in place with steely-eyed determination on Living Proof, but sound no less fast or vicious. The souped-up production in particular really pays off in the drum sound, with adrenaline-laced fills panning beautifully from side to side in some of the record's most punishing moments. It seems completely at odds with the ethos of anything punk to complain about what should or shouldn't be included on an album, but the interlude and the Descendants cover do come off as strange choices when time is already limited on this 25-minute album. But overall, this is another in a long line of banger hardcore records we're seeing at the moment, and we love to see it. I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. Bar Italia are a new London band that have generated some hype with a minimalist post-punk sound. After spending time with their first record, Tracey, Denim, my impression is this band lands somewhere between Fontaine's DC and Wet Leg, but managed to achieve neither the depth of the former nor the quirky energy of the latter. The album certainly piqued my interest with the first track, Guard. Its stuttering piano and jazz-like backbeat could pass for samples, and as the vocals and the moody guitars come in, it actually feels like Bar Italia could be offering something unique and fresh in the bloated post-punk art rock scene. Sadly, that song chooses not to really go anywhere beyond the tone established in the opening 30 seconds, and every song hereafter kind of does the same thing. Some songs like Nurse are more interesting than others, but by the end of the album, with track after track roughly following the same template and conjuring the same vibe, the band managed to feel like they leapfrogged into self-parody on their own debut. Friends is a more upbeat song that provides a sort of energy that should have been sprinkled throughout the album, and had it been, could have really had an impact. As it happens, it comes at the end like a firefighter arriving too late to a burning building. I would really just give this a 4 out of 10. This is the second live Pinegrove album in just over 2 years. In most circumstances, that would seem excessive, but given that 2021's Amperland was recorded in isolation and released in the depths of lockdown, releasing Montclair so soon An album documenting a full band, full volume, sold out hometown show feels like a perfect reflection and celebration of what we'd all been missing. You can practically hear the crackling energy around this band in the performance, the excitement almost threatening to overtake them on show opener moment, where frontman Evan Stevens Hall's voice breaks and the tempo of the band naturally fluctuates. That unbridled passion can be heard just as strongly in the crowd too, with even the ad-libs Stevens Hall opts not to sing still being echoed full-throated by the fans. Small bursts of intensity are commonplace in all of Pinegrove's music, punctuating a progression with a sudden heavy downstroke or letting a vocal break slightly in a fake-out lead up to a chorus. A song like Rings shows how in a small live setting these moments feel huge. The recording is a little raw, but overall Montclair really articulates the difference between Pinegrove as a studio band and Pinegrove as a live act. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Alright, that's it for this week, but as usual on the other channels there's a bunch of other stuff coming out. So we got vinyl updates, 23 best songs of 2023 so far. I've put those into a playlist which you can find on Spotify. I've also put together an extended playlist, so way more than 23, for all of the weirdos, the jazz heads and the thrash heads out there. It includes all of those genres, and I'm going to be doing a playlist commentary on this channel, so check this out. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time.
Cheers.